Hello, Kizomba friends, and welcome to this special episode of Kizomba Conversations. Today, we're bringing you a recorded English dub version of our conversation with the talented Kizomba artist Klaudio Hoshai. This version has been voiced by myself and my co-host Adel. You can also watch the original live interview with Klaudio right here on our YouTube channel, where you can also hear him sing some of the songs that he sang during the conversation. So let's introduce our special guest, Klaudio. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for taking the time to have this conversation.
Hello, thank you very much, Kizomba Conversations. I'm happy to be here to share this beautiful moment.
Wonderful, Klaudio. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really well. Everything's fine.
Great. So, Klaudio, let's start our conversation then. And the first point here is to understand a little bit about you and your roots. So, can you start by telling us, Klaudio, who is Klaudio Hoshai? Tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, and how your life in Angola shaped you.
Well, Klaudio Hoshai is a musician born in Angola, precisely in a neighborhood called Calemba, which is in a municipality of Manyanga. For many, it is the neighborhood of bullfighting, as it is known. It's a neighborhood that within the community of Caskel. That's where I had my childhood, and then I went from there to live in Malange, where I finished my studies, and also where I started to dedicate myself to art. In fact, I only started and got into contact with art in Malange, not even necessarily in Luanda. In Luanda, I had some cousins who are artists who actually left Malange. I am actually not the only musician in the family. There are other musicians too. When they left Malange, they went to live at my parents' house. I came afterwards and then was in contact with art just by watching, and then began my performances in the province of Malange.
Okay, Klaudio. And how old were you at that time?
Well, at that time in Malange, I was 17 years old.
Okay, so you were already at an early age, right?
Yes. At that time, I started rapping, as every teenager did back then. We started listening to rap music, which is a music genre very influential in that age. Then, after that, I joined the choir, the church choir, where I started learning to sing with notes. I learned to play the guitar. And I also started singing and making my own music.
Great. Yes, so rapping, huh? Very, very interesting. Okay, Klaudio. And by the way, now I just remember, so going back a little bit before we continue on this path, your name is a curious name. So what is the origin of Klaudio Hoshai?
Yeah, the Hoshai part. Yeah. So Klaudio is actually my name on record, my actual name, but it's with a C. So I added the K instead to make a distinction because there are many people called Klaudio with a C. Hoshai, on the other hand, comes from a word in Kimbundu, in the Angolan language. It's an inflection which actually means that belongs here or is ours. So in this sense, our Klaudio, you can think of it that way.
I see. Okay, I see. Good. And Klaudio, how was your journey, as you were saying, the fact that you started in the church, the church choir and playing the guitar? Tell us a little bit more about it. How was it? How did you progress and how was that journey?
Well, it was funny, but also good. As some people say, that sometimes in the first impact with people who understand the subject, we are rejected, we are excluded, but we have to be persistent and continue to make the other person understand that we have the talent to do this. So when I entered the church choir, the master of the choir in the church, he actually said I didn't have a singer's voice.
Really?
Absolutely, yes. Unfortunately. So he put me on the bass so as to hide me in order that I wouldn't stand out, really.
So he put you behind to go unnoticed.
Yes, yes. So on the bass, others in the group were already singing, already had a singing voice. In the bass, it was a bit of a challenge because it requires a consistent voice with a lot of presence. So I was muffled there in the back. I was not happy. Amongst all those voices, imagine that. And when you're in the bass, almost no one hears you.
Yeah.
The prominent voices are the tenor, the baritone, and others. I couldn't do soprano because the girls were already doing that, and the boys were on the tenors. I always had a high-pitched voice, but as the church master, the choir master said, I didn't have a voice to sing. I just stayed in the bass. But I really wasn't happy about that. So I left the church. I quit singing in the choir. I attended still the church, but I just stopped singing in the choir itself. And actually, I signed up for a music competition. That's where, in that competition, I sang a song by the Italian musician Andrea Bocelli.
Yes.
So I took one of his songs at the time, and I sang it, and the jury were impressed. They looked at me and said, "Do you sing in the choir?" I said, "No, I don't sing in the choir." I had early lessons in the choir, and they said I didn't have the voice to sing. The jury just said, "No way, you're one of the preferred candidates to be in this casting." So imagine, in Malange, usually the songs that people are most used to are more folkloric songs, more African songs, you know, songs from the likes of Tabanca Jazz, Don Kikas, and others. So in this competition, which is called Estrelas ao Palco, I sang a song by Andrea Bocelli, and I was one of the most feared candidates. I competed in the first, the second, and third editions. In the third edition, I got to the semifinals. Unfortunately, I didn't win the contest. Sometimes winning isn't everything.
Mm-hmm.
In the following year, which was the fourth year, I was actually invited to be part of the jury. So in that competition, I came back because I left as a highlight previously. In the province, people were talking about me because I had a powerful voice, and that I made it to the semifinals. When I came back to the church choir, I then came back as the director of the group. So it's the dedication I had. I didn't back down. I continued to work. Even when I wasn't part of the church, I continued working, investigating about music. Even in the competition, we had singing classes. I started to improve more and more. When I returned to church, I came back as a person who understood the subject and was no longer put in the bass. I was the person managing the voices.
What a great story, Claudio. Of course, at that time, you had not undertaken any training in Paris, although, is that correct?
Yes, that is true. This was before. This was still in between the years of 2007 and 2010. I finished my studies. I lived in the countryside of Angola. Then I went to Luanda, where I was born, and I started performing in bars and restaurants. So I started to improve myself on the guitar, share my skills, and also listening to more songs. Meanwhile, I started to connect with local musicians from AVC, which is Angola Video Clips, and producers, and they saw that I had a talent to compose, which I brought from rap, because rap is a style of music that gives you the skill to do freestyle.
Yes.
It's like doing a verbal essay where you need to develop that theme of the topic without deviating
Yes.
from it, really.
Yes.
So I started to have this ability. When I traveled to Luanda, they saw that I had the ability to compose, so I presented some of my own work. And that's when I entered really the world of music, making songs for other artists. That's how the journey started.
Great. And how was that experience, Claudio? How did that shape you, prepare you for your own personal career?
Well, contact with professional musicians who have had a long career and continue to have because they still exist, that socialization began to bring me artistic maturity. Observing how they position themselves on stage, how they record the voices on the microphone, I started learning with them. Although I was still performing in bars and singing in restaurants, I started to understand the world of music from a much more open angle and having the ability and, in a way, gaining responsibility for myself as well to sing my own songs. I gained a certain maturity that today, even though I haven't been on big stages yet, I already have a vast experience of the interactions, or because of the interactions that I had with those artists. That throughout this journey have shared their experiences with me. This is one of the things that I find very beautiful about art. It molds and educates people, especially music.
Yes.
Especially music.
Yeah.
It changes your character, the way you deal with society, the way you behave in public. So I have this privilege of being part of this artistic world because today, if I'm Klaudio Hoshai, besides the artist, it's art and it's thanks to the music.
Yes. And I guess your way of thinking has also changed during this time and this period, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. And then speaking of influences, Claudio, what is the first memory then of music that you have, even if it wasn't singing? So first memory that really stuck with you in terms of, in musical terms.
Wow. My first memory is from my music teacher, my first music teacher. But that music teacher wasn't the person who taught me the do, re, mi, nor vocal technique. My first music teacher was actually my father, who has unfortunately already passed away. He was my first teacher, and the memories are from him because I started learning with him, and all the songs that I play with so much love, so much soul, are things that I absorbed from him. Because I stayed at home. At the time, we had cassettes, and we had to rewind them. Many people will remember with a pen.
Yes.
There was no light at home, so we had to
Yes.
rewind those manually. And I was exactly the rewinder, the tape rewinder. So I would select the tapes, and I knew exactly where each song was in the tape because I did it so many times in these different tapes.
Wow.
So these are things that really marked me. My father was my first teacher, and I listened to music, folk music from Malange, which was his region, Congolese music, and Cape Verdean music as well, because this was a time when we were at war, so there wasn't much possibility of having songs made in Angola.
Yeah.
It's more songs from Tabanca Jazz, Cape Verdean artists, George Neto, or even Congolese artists. These were the musicians that were popular in Angola. So I learned and got these songs through my father. All the music influence, all the artistic know-how I have is thanks to him. For me, he was my first teacher and my very first memory of music.
And what an inspiration I'm sure he must have been, Claudio. So thank you for sharing. And speaking of this influence, Claudio, the impression we have of the music you produce is that it really has different influences. Okay. So things such as jazz, blues, Afro, Zouk, for example, how is all this combined in your music and what inspiration do you have? Where do you get inspiration to really produce this magic and this blend?
Well, first of all, a very strong influence in my musicality, without a doubt, is African music. I love African music. In fact, we Africans are very rich in terms of rhythm and melodies. We have rhythm, and we are one of the strongest in the world, of course. African music is the pivot of world music.
Yes.
So first, African, precisely even from Congo, where there is one of the musicians that I admire a lot, Lokwa Kanza. I don't know if you've heard of him. It's a musician who has a very Afro style, mixing jazz with our traditions. This was and still is my first point of absorption, my first influence.
I see.
Of all the artistic influence that I have after Africa, I then started to get to know other things like world music, jazz, R&B, as you said. So I mix all that modernity with the more classic African music, and that has brought this Klaudio somewhat different.
Great, Claudio. And for our listeners then, who may be new to this type of music, so, especially to Kizomba and Semba, how do you describe Kizomba and Semba? And then what message would you send to these people who are new to this music, this wonderful music style? How would you describe?
Well, we we still have this problem in general. It's something I need to talk about because it's a sore point, mainly for Angolans. The labeling of the styles that we have, which are very identity focused, mainly with Semba. Some people call it old people's music, old style. In fact, there is no old style music. Music is music, and there is no age to it. So many people feel ashamed and feel the fear of doing this style that identifies us, which is Semba. I, as a young man, have been following this path firmly and showing the world our culture, our musical identity. So I keep following this path because I want these people of my age to continue to spread and sing what belongs to us, what is rightly ours, which is African music, so that other parts of the world come to know this beauty. So this is my statement in art.
Mm-hmm.
And with Kizomba, it's the same thing. Although Kizomba appeared in the 90s only and then started to proliferate, but it's still part of it. It's still part, and it still has quite a stronghold in the tradition. Unfortunately, young people today follow the trend of what's modern. That's not wrong, but if we make a mix of modern with traditional and classical music from our home, from our roots, we can bring to the world something very different. I think they could be more interested in what belongs to us in African music. So this has been my job, to continue making beautiful music in Semba and Kizomba for other people who are getting to know a new Klaudio. They don't look only at Klaudio, but rather at Angola and Africa because of this cultural beauty that we have.
So speaking of music, let's talk about this for a moment. So your studies in Paris, the voice and the piano. What were the areas that gave you the most advantage during that time?
Well, I'll talk about the art school in Paris then. Thank God that gave. I bring thanks to God that I have a very special gift, and many Africans also have, which is precisely in art. Why? When I arrived at the academy in Paris in the classroom, the teacher asked where I learned, and I said I didn't go to music school. And he saw how I sang, how I used my voice, how I used the guitar, how I used my chords with a lot of sentiment, with lots of Africanism, we can say. He said, "You never went to a music school?" I said, "I never went to music school. I learned like this, just with friends on the street, cousins who also made music. And normally we didn't have the conditions to have that many music schools in Africa. So we learned the traditional way, just by experimenting. At the art school in Paris, they were sincerely astonished. How come you don't read sheet music and play the guitar, and yet you play the guitar like this? Well, because in school, normally there are rules. It's theory and practice. But with papers, it's all very mechanical. You have to read sheet music to play it precisely. And we Africans, thank God, we don't need that. Even though our music is very complex, this complexity that brought to the classroom was what made the teacher admire me. Africa is, in my opinion, the very cradle of humanity. And I was feeling privileged by those words. And I saw that we are rich in terms of art.
And Klaudio, do you think then the world has already realized that Africa really has this wealth and richness? Or, are there a lot of places that haven't understood this yet?
Well, I think the world has already understood. As always, we have a global structural problem, though. They know that almost everything came from Africa.
Yes.
Jazz itself and other things were spread and taken by African slaves, and people who even taught the artistic etiquette were Africans. So the world knows, but sometimes, unfortunately, they try to omit what is obvious. But yeah, we've been doing and showing the opposite with the talents that we have that have been born every day in Africa, and that have given lyrics to the world. We have several big names in the world of music. In fact, today, African music is the center of the world. As I said, everyone is following this trend, listening to African music. So I think there's nothing more to prove. It's just a matter of accepting.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what we see sometimes is that people forget to open up, be willing to learn and pay homage to this art that is here. Okay. Speaking of art, you may have realized that this touches me deeply. Okay, so let's talk about your successes up to date. And we hope, Klaudio, there'll be many more in the future. Let's talk about your songs. And I would like very much, Klaudio, if you would give to our listeners a little feel about one of your songs.
I can do that. Before I go into my songs, though, I will try to bring a Klaudio who absorbed the first songs and learned to make music by means of influence of these songs. I really like to sing songs of Angolan musicians, to be more identifiable so that people can understand where I'm from and what composes me, what makes me who I am. I make this effort as a young man. It's important, although some people feel ashamed, but I feel privileged to be African and have a rich culture and show the world that modern music is not ugly. I make this effort as a young man. It's important, although some feel ashamed, but I feel privileged to be African and have a rich culture and show the world that modern music, although not ugly at all, folk music, though, has much more beauty. Because of all of these modern songs that come from that. So I'm going to try something here. I'm going to sing a song called Desespero. It's by an author called Robertinho, who is a pillar of Angolan music as well. So here we go.
Onelanga iswekele pala kazanga itesiami nisishindi inakiwangi bangele menono gana ukutalegi katewe nikilebu gobenene kwa mamenu dando jamyangi singamika gizela mitingi gibanza midingi male.
Klaudio, we feel privileged to have heard you sing. Yes, thank you very much. Beautiful voice. It's really nice to hear you sing, and I think this is wonderful, Klaudio. Talking about music and one of the most famous songs of yours, Pio Pio. Okay, so for me, it was one of the first songs of yours I heard, fell in love as I heard it, and I would like to know, and I know many listeners would like to know too, what inspired this song, also what it means, and what does it convey to people, or what do you want it to convey to people when they're listening?
Well, Pio Pio was, while it might not seem like it, sometimes we do things that we don't know what the result is going to be. And Pio Pio was an experimental song. It was just a quick song because I had never done Semba or Kizomba before.
Just a quick song?
Yes. I met a cousin of whom is the guitarist for Yuri da Cunha for many years. His name is Texas. You've probably heard of him. He's a guitarist. He has a song. He's playing that song. It's called Choro de Semba. It's a very beautiful song, and he made me become fond of Semba and Kizomba. He said, "Klaudio, you have a very beautiful voice. I like hearing you sing R&B. I really do. But let's try a Semba." I said, "No, Semba, it's a lot of responsibility. I won't be able to do it. I won't, I'm not sure." He convinced me. He said, "You'll be able to do it. Think of a song, and then we're gonna record it." At that time, it was a time when I didn't make music anymore. It was a time where practically I was almost depressed because I had a lot of disappointments in art, with many promises from producers and musicians that they said they could support me to make it work, but unfortunately things didn't happen as I expected. That made me very discouraged. I stayed more than 5 years without singing, without playing the guitar, without playing anything. Started working in something that had nothing to do with music. I went into a supermarket where I was cleaning up, and I at the time, really didn't want anything to do with music. In 2017, though, Texas came to me with this proposal. He said, let's try it one last time. If the song doesn't work, you can move on with your life. I wanted to leave Angola to study music. Studying music had been my intention. So I always had that thought of leaving to go and study. So he said, "Klaudio, let's try it. Let's invest in a song, but it has to be Semba." Okay. So I went home, started thinking. Pio Pio is what came out of that, and I wrote that song in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
The chorus already existed. I didn't have any lyrics for it yet. It was funny. I tried to create some scene to see if we can take the guitar. I grabbed the guitar. I created the chords. That's how I normally do things. I usually create first the chords. I'm not very good at noting things down. It limits me. I like a more freedom in doing this. I like to record the melody, and then on top of that, I put the words. So, and that's what I did for Pio Pio. I don't write on paper. Not even one of my songs was ever written on paper. I designed it in my mind. Then I grab my phone, I record the melody, then I start adding words.
Wow.
So since I already know and have this skill from rap, of creating songs. The next day, I go and meet up with Texas, who had organized an orchestra. There's no other name, because these artists, these Angolan artists, they were all at the studio. So I went with my guitar to show him the song, and he was in the studio with names like Lito Graça, Nanuto, Joãozinho Morgado. It was like having Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo all in the same place. And then we started to create the song. The production, it was amazing. Kota Nanuto, so Nanuto is one of the greatest saxophonists we have in Africa. It was amazing. And this whole group came together and helped the cause. Everyone performed their part without asking for anything. So no one charged anything. Everyone was available to help me record my very first song. I think this particular song, Pio Pio, is a success, not because of the voice, but because of the production, the whole team that was involved to perform this song, this beautiful song, from the arrangements of the guitars, the woodwinds, the drums. It's something very beautiful. These gentlemen, Joãozinho Morgado, who can be considered as a legend of percussion in Angola, because he is one of the prominent names in percussion when it comes to Semba. Joãozinho Morgado, and then on the bass we have Carlito Semba. So these people who were part of the production of the song, it started playing outside of Angola. So not even Angola. First, the success of this song started outside, and then gradually it came to Angola. I did it jokingly. It was just an experiment, like I said. That's just to see where will this go? I didn't give much thought to this song. I did it, and then I went on with my life. I didn't even share it with friends. I left it to Texas to just take care of it. We uploaded it, obviously, into digital platforms. And then from there, the song reached many Kizomba dance floors. We started receiving videos from France, Belgium, Luxembourg. We started receiving several videos of people dancing to music, and the song just went viral.
Wow. What a story. What a story, Klaudio. And to think this whole plot or project came to enrich this song even more, I think, for the listeners, it will be even greater just hearing the backstory about the song. So when we even listen to it now, we understand, the story behind it. So I think it will enrich it even more. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. It's this song. It gives me concerts. Whoever knows Klaudio Hoshai today and respects my musicality is through Pio Pio. Yeah. A song that I didn't even pay much attention to at the time. And today is the song that takes me touring around Europe.
Wow, yeah, that of which, least expected sometimes is what brings the biggest, or at least the beginning of a greater thing. So, wow, yes.
Exactly.
Foi você quem pediu pra me entregar, e a doçura do teu corpo cativou a minha alma. E hoje vivo dependente desse amor. És uma espécie desconhecida no meu mar. E eu pensei que estaríamos no mesmo barco de velas sem remos, a partilhar o mesmo cigarro e o mesmo cinzeiro. É assim a reciprocidade no amor. E o teu sumiço em minhas lembranças é um terror. Por quê? Pio, 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 pio. Olha só, pio, 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 pio. Porque você vazou, pio, 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 pio. Olha só, pio, 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 pio. Porque você vazou. Não me arrependo por não ter sucesso ao dar-te o meu amor, Pio. É a tua arte manha, confesso que me abalou. És uma espécie desconhecida no meu mar. Porque eu pensei que estaríamos no mesmo barco de vela sem remos, a partilhar o mesmo cigarro e o mesmo cinzeiro. É assim a reciprocidade do amor. E o teu sumiço em minhas lembranças é um terror. Porque Pio, 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 Pio. Olha só, Pio, 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 Pio. Porque você vazou, Pio, 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 Pio. Olha só, porque você vazou.
So this song is beautiful, Klaudio. And with this story, thank you. Thank you. And obviously telling us how it was created. Thank you for that.
It's a pleasure. You know, we are doing some work so that people associate this song with me, because it has gone very far. The song Pio Pio has gone very far. For me, in world of Kizomba and Semba, that it doesn't need any presentations, because I've heard people sing with me, even in Poland. They sing Pio Pio with me in Romania. They sing with me in the Netherlands. It's a song which is sung in Portuguese, and yet they sing along. They don't speak Portuguese. Somehow they manage. There are people who don't associate, though, the image of the song with the artist. Therefore, we need to do this work, to have a video clip which sounds and looks and has a fresher Klaudio Hoshai image to associate with. Because there are people who, even to this day, they continue to try to figure out who the musician is, who is the artist behind the song. Yet again, this song takes me to concerts. They don't know who the artist is, even in those cases, and they might cross paths with me and don't associate that I have other songs that are mine. Pio Pio is a part of it. So I really, working with the team, so we're creating a video clip which is really purposeful to connect the song with the artist.
Wonderful, Klaudio. And on this theme then of the song, do you have an idea, or can we expect a video for this?
It will be very soon. We're working on it as we speak. We have to achieve this, because the purpose is that we have to grow. Yes. Our music and our image has to be at the same pace. Music has already taken off like a spaceship. And yet, as an artist, I'm still working on that. And we're close to being, it's been 10 years since that song was released. It's 10 years of Pio Pio. So I don't think we could have the success in music without that song. I'm surprised too that I'm happy when I meet people from other nationalities and they're singing this song along with me.
Yeah, Klaudio, and the journey of this song, obviously we want it to spread even more. And I'm sure, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure certainly others, all the listeners too, we're anxious to see, we're hopefully to see the video, and we want to continue to be present to watch your success, and we know that success does not come without effort, without your work, without your hard work and dedication, like everything you've explained to us, and obviously what it takes here for this song and others.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of songs then, Klaudio, another song of yours that has had great success is Emigrou. I hope I'm saying that right. So tell us a little bit about this, Klaudio. What was the inspiration behind this song? And, is this a song that reflects struggles that you had? What does it represent for you?
Well, Emigrou, it's It's a song that's not just a song. It's a message, it's a record, it's a memory. And it's something for myself and for all immigrants, no matter the color, to reflect on, to be able to understand the topic. In fact, it's a story of mine that I started to live from the moment I stepped into Europe. I'm very new to Europe, only been here since 2020. In the meantime, you can imagine that people who never left their land and their home, and they leave, when people do leave, they look for better living conditions, but they're not prepared, not knowing how things work. Where will they go? How will they do things? There aren't many people who are able to advise and direct and teach. Psychologically, it's impactful. Being in a country far from your own, especially for Africans, we are very affectionate. We're connected with family from birth until the day that we leave. African people in general are not very keen on immigrating, so it's difficult to leave one's home, where everyone's family, even your neighbor, and you come to a place where people are different. And because we're in a different place, it made me reflect on this. I was struggling for a long time. Work for me was work that on my own, regardless of the difficulties, but I couldn't give up this type of effort and this push. With difficulties in integration, in skin exclusion because of skin color, so racism, various places, difficulties in simple things, just getting documents sorted. That really made me reflect deeply, and that one day I was working on a construction site for a company. I was with a friend, and then asking him for a building block. We were creating a wall. I don't know how it came up with this melody, and at that moment, the concrete mixer was in the background making noise, those loud noises that those machines make. I just got one part which is the particular start of the song itself. So I created the first phrase, and I said in my next song, I want to use this, but that part, it stayed in my mind. It just stayed there for 3 maybe 5 months. It was just stuck there. But then when I left work, because the boss didn't want me there anymore, I then decided to take my guitar and start writing the song. So I created the melody, and from there, I started to go into the song, which let me give you a taste of it now.
Eu luto todos os dias aqui na Lisa, Poporo. Atravessei o mar para ganhar a vida, Poporo. O patriota não é só quem fica. Parem de colocar inveja. Deus ajuda quem vai à luta. Eu luto todos os dias no estrangeiro, Poporo. Patriota eu sou de sangue e coração, Poporo. Só parem de colocar inveja de quem quer pôr o pão na mesa pra família lá na banda, Poporo. Então tira a inveja disfarçada no teu abraço e o coração apertado, Poporo. Deixa esse sorriso disfarçado de carinho e o coração cheio de espinhos, Poporo. Mas pra me consolar, lá e não chorar, é preciso coragem, Poporo. Pra me consolar, lá e não chorar, é preciso coragem, força, Poporo. Pa pa para paranana, pa 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 paranana. Nem sempre o mar te goza no estrangeiro. Vida real aqui tem os bastidores também. Mas quem não arrisca não pitisca. Trabalho debaixo da chuva, com sol e frio a dar no osso. Nem sempre o mar de luz no estrangeiro. Aqui dá-se no duro para ter dinheiro. Poporo. Primo, pare de pedir telefone. Se eu não pagar, quem dá dorme na ponte. Estamos todos na batalha. Poporo. Então tira a inveja disfarçada no teu abraço, coração apertado. Deixa esse sorriso disfarçado de carinho e o coração cheio de espinhos. Mas para me consolar não, e não chorar, é preciso coragem, força. Pra me consolar não, e não chorar, é preciso coragem. Poporo, poporo, poporo. Nem sempre o mar de goza no estrangeiro. Atravessei o mar para ganhar na vida. O patriota não é só quem fica. Parem de colocar inveja. Deus ajuda quem madruga.
Great. Thank you, Klaudio. Check out this wonderful song from Klaudio Hoshai on the live episode here at Kizomba Conversations, where you can watch him sing it live. What a beautiful song, Klaudio. We have no words. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. This song was made to help relatives of family members who stay in Africa to understand that life in Europe is not easy. It's not like you leave your home and travel and then you become a millionaire and have a lot of money, because many times we don't send money back. We don't spend the time that they want, and they think we don't want to support them. We're trying. We are very supportive. We are here to help relatives, even the most distant people. Especially the right moments, sometimes we were just not able to support them right away. We have, even though we're abroad, we've immigrated, we have to pay the internet, home, transportation, clothes, food. At the end of the day, after all of that, there isn't much that is left after these expenses. It's been very difficult. So this is the message for those back home to understand that life in Europe is not easy.
Yes, and many times, we immigrants don't have the capacity to send this message to our family and our friends. With music, we can at least understand that we're not alone. Absolutely, again, wonderful, Klaudio. And speaking of music, we are on the subject of music, and we have already we've already heard 3 wonderful songs of yours, and we also have another one. So, Mea Culpa. I believe, it came out fairly recently. So can you give us a little taste about what Mea Culpa is all about, Klaudio, and the inspiration for it?
Well, Mea Culpa has a history of more than 20 years. It's one of the oldest that I know. It's actually not written by me. It's written by a good friend of mine who's more like a brother. I was present when he composed the song, and he forgot all about it. It was one of his songs that I liked, and it stayed with me for 20 years in my heart. And I sang. Then I said, it's time that I also present one of these older songs, one of the oldest songs, and the more juvenile version, the more back day version of Klaudio Hoshai. So people don't recognize and associate me only with one type of music. I want to show my versatility with this song. So I went back and I asked the original songwriter, because he had forgotten the song.
Mm.
I'm very much I'm a sponge for my friends. All of them who have songs that they've already forgotten. Maybe I have them. I keep them. I keep these things. So I record. I keep a record of it. But actually, this song is, as I said, from a really good friend, Marcel. And there's a theme. It's important, and it draws on the attention and generates several themes. There are several sub themes even. It's about requesting forgiveness, and we're entering a phase in the 21st century where pride speaks louder than education, than the principles, than civic morality. Sometimes we fail with these people and we don't recognize, we don't even apologize, even though we're wrong. So it's almost a disease, it's sad. And we musicians have this responsibility of being, at certain moments, activists, social, I suppose, social activists as we have been in our songs. So Mea Culpa came in that sense, not only talking about love, but accepting the request for an apology, or even the apology itself, recognizing that we have failed to the other person, and also preparing us, because when we apologize, we don't know if it will be accepted or not. So we also have to be prepared for what comes next. In this sense, Mea Culpa was in that perspective. We can reflect on forgiveness, on taking the blame, on putting the ego aside, which is also education. These things make us change our attitude in relationships, whether it's from father to son or to spouse. This is the expansive way that I thought about Mea Culpa. And it's a song that I think people are receiving very well because of this theme, which is very controversial nowadays. It raises many different debates. I think walking on the street, I don't know in a way where we're going, where it might end up. But usually songs with these themes, as I say, create debates between people, which hopefully will be healthy. So let's get into it. I'm going to sing it here.
Desculpa, amor, mas eu não vou deixar, não vou deixar-te partir, amor. Eu sei que errei feio, amor, o meu receio é te perder e não te ter. Já não pensavas em mim, não, já não me cuidavas mais. O café da manhã das 9 só chegou às 12. Então encontrei na rua, puseram-me mais açúcar. Foi mais forte que eu, sim, um culpado sou eu. Não me leva só male, oh, oh, oh. Não me leva só male, não me leva só male, não me leva só male, oh, no, no. Se decides partir, deixa-me apenas uma imagem dos beijos e abraços que tivemos para confortar o meu coração. E um dia eu lembrar que vivemos juntos, que vibramos juntos. Já não pensavas em mim, não, já não me cuidavas mais. O café da manhã das 9 só chegou às 12. Então encontrei na rua, puseram-me mais açúcar. Foi mais forte que eu, sem que o culpado sou eu. Não me leva só mal, ai, não me deixa só mal, não, não, não me leva só mal, não me leva só mal, sapa, sararata não, está não, pararapana, sapa, pararapara. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great. Great, Klaudio. Join Klaudio for this song again on our YouTube channel. We can see him sing this live. Klaudio, one more absolutely spectacular song. Your voice, it's very touching. And this song in particular, and with the story you told, touches the heart because really many times we're hurt. We may recognize, but we don't always apologize to others, and we don't ask certain questions, and I think sometimes it's tough. So this song really resonates with that.
Yes, and nowadays we have a very distorted world. We need to do this work as artists, that we return to what is normal of good humans and good citizens. So it's for that purpose to make this song stand out, where a different presence, a different way, a different genre, even also in this sense, a different format of a different type of Klaudio Hoshai in this sense.
Yes, and I think, Claudio, your mission is very strong. Like you said earlier, through music, people also educate themselves. They also learn, because we hear this not only in a classroom, not only at home, but when we're alone, listening or dancing. Music teaches us. And I find that very, very beautiful indeed, Claudio. Okay, so I'd like to ask you a question. So, seeing you, Claudio, seeing this energy, this enormous energy, when you sing, the point of the question here is the energy and the humor that you have, along with your charisma that you have on your stage. I think you may have described it as shy before, but where does your energy come from, and what source do you use, when you're sharing with the world?
Well, since childhood, I think I'm the comedian in the family.
Okay.
We are two brothers. One is actually in France. I'm the more humorous one, making people laugh until they just fall over. They roll on the floor, and it's it. At first, when I was on stage, I was indeed more shy. But I thought to myself, I have to take that Klaudio from home, that Klaudio that makes people laugh. I have to bring that on stage, so that maybe I feel more comfortable on stage and can also transmit my energy, my musical soul to people. People might not be able to connect with me, or they might be able to connect with me that way. So I thought it would be convenient and comfortable to add humor when presenting myself on stage. I know people in Europe are very serious on the way they look sometimes. In Africa, though, we are normally very energetic. And with all that energy, you can feel it on stage. You can feel the energy of the others as well. It's a little different, though, and there's a different sense of receiving things when that energy is there. So that's why I chose and still do choose to bring the humor, put it into the music. Again, I'm the comedian at home. So I actually associated humor with music in this way to make it more comfortable for everyone.
So, I'm loving this. It's fantastic. I never heard a musical artist explain it in this way. bringing together the mood to make you feel more comfortable on stage, to make you feel at home on stage. So interesting.
Yes, yes. Really, I am shy. In most cases, I am very shy. But with family, I'm not. I can bring a problem uh, to people, not connecting because of my shyness. But it also inhibits many things. So at least to make things more comfortable and have a more relaxed attitude and connect with people, I introduced again using the humor to also be able to sell my art. That was the idea.
All right. Well, we love humor, so that's fantastic. So, okay, Claudio. So one of the points you mentioned earlier is that people should not forget or ignore their roots. So where they come from, and the music of Semba, for example, I like the way you put it. Well, it's a crime because it's ignoring our essence.
Yes, it is a crime to ignore the roots and ignoring our essence. I do agree. It's like it's as if you don't have a source.
Yeah.
We all come from somewhere. People don't know who they are, essentially. So this is the work that we've been doing. It's philanthropic in a way. It's purposeful. Art has to bring that. Art really has to bring where people come from and bridge that gap.
And do you see this as one of your future projects, Claudio?
Well, first of all, I've been thinking about this with a few songs of mine. I'm not a musician who makes art for fame.
Uh-huh.
Rather, that's just a consequence of my work, my effort, my gift. Even I do it because I love it, because I want people to understand that this form of art is very beautiful. A world of bringing emotion, a world of causing this nostalgic feeling to human beings. In art, there is a facet of bringing the love. So in a sung form, though, so in a different way. This is my purpose, to feel good with what I create, with myself, because I come from where I come from is a growth from many different sequels, many difficulties, many challenges. Music has been my comfort, so that I can remember the good times and the bad times, learn from them. So I try to pass this on to people. My mission with art is to raise the name of Africa, so that I feel good in doing so, and also in connecting with people. This is the purpose. I want to be a great musician that the world knows by means of the gift that I have. It's a job that we are doing as a team. It's a job that has been consistent and constant, and with people even wanting to propose and become sponsors, with money as well involved. So we can move ahead in very concrete terms, in professional terms. I think we're on the right track, and I think we'll get there. As I said, my mission is to make art, spread love to the next as much as I can, and that maybe one day I'll be honored for the beautiful work I've been doing. That's my purpose. I want to make timeless music. I want to be contemporary musician mentioned in great names of African music.
And Claudio, we hope so too. So me and obviously our audience and listeners, love your music. We want to give you all the support that we can so you have the success that you deserve. And obviously, that you're an artist and that you can really share with the world, not only your talent, but also your messages. So some of the messages that you've been giving us throughout this conversation are really, really important.
Thank you. Thank you. This is work we have been doing all this time in Lisbon and now in Porto, where we are also starting to bring a little bit of in a more expansive way, African, of course, to these different places, different parts of Portugal where African music hasn't reached in full force yet. So several artists, even though the small number, have been working together. We started off, as I said, in Lisbon. We thought, well, why not Porto? Why not Coimbra? Why not Aveiro? So I, Klaudio Hoshai, have already moved from Lisbon to Porto. I already have a curatorship in Porto, in Alcoy Angels Share, where it's a wine bar. And more recently, I'm also going to the Casa da Música in Porto to bring more Angolan music, connect with people in Porto, start listening to more African music as well there. So this is the collective work they've been doing. Myself and other artists have been working together to bring this cultural enlargement of Africa in general.
Wonderful, Klaudio. Wonderful. And, you know, we've had a great conversation here, Klaudio. Loved your music, learned so much from you as well, and really love your messages. So where can people connect with you?
Social media is the best because I'm very present there, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I've been making videos and live streams on TikTok constantly. The name is easy. It's Klaudio Hoshai with an H. It's quite unique in this sense. I know they'll find and we'll be able to connect with me. I usually follow everyone who follows me. I follow them back. I keep giving back to everyone. I message everyone who follows my work to subscribe to my channel. On Spotify as well, subscribe to there and share with family and friends my musicality. Many things there many more things that are to come. There are many surprises as well, in particular this year. Come.
Klaudio, thank you. Thank you. And we look forward to see what Klaudio Hoshai will be bringing us in the future. We are coming to the end now. And what we like to do on our podcast is just we've asked you a number of questions, but we like to finish off with some fun questions here. And it's very simple. We have some cards here. We ask you to choose the color of the card, and then we ask you a question, and then you answer the question, and we answer one of the questions as well. So I believe there are 3 cards. So, Klaudio, which card would you like to choose? Yellow, green, or red?
I'll go with yellow. I like yellow. It's close to mustard, so I'll go with yellow.
Close to mustard. Okay, cool. So, and then one more, Klaudio. What's the next one you'd like to choose? Is it red or is it
I think next I'll go with red.
Okay, so you're gonna go with red. So that means the last one here is the green one. All right, so let's start then with the yellow one. Okay, so the question here, Klaudio, is preference, okay? Would you prefer to have or perform at a big concert or a small party?
Or big concert. For sure, big concert, because to me, a concert is also a party. I could gather everyone that I like and everyone who likes my art, my music. And because besides being an artist, I'm expressive on stage, if I try to be, and people can understand a little bit more about my personality. So for me, a big concert, yes, absolutely.
So a big concert where you can reach more people.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Fantastic. Okay, great. And then next one is the red one, I believe. And then Klaudio, between these 2 things, again, which one would you prefer as an artist? All right. Would you prefer having free flights forever, so you can fly anywhere forever, or free studio time forever, so you can be in the studio and create? So out of those 2, which one would you prefer?
Free studio forever, because with that, I could create more albums. I could create thousands of songs. I could put even more effort into it. I'd be living in the studio really. I could record 10 albums even. So yeah, without a doubt, free studio time.
Okay, that's great. So we can hear more of your music if you were having free studio time. So Yes. Let's find a way to get Klaudio more studio time, people. So the last question here, the green one, which is mine, and the question is, would you rather have a whole week without music or a whole week without phone? And for me personally, I think it would be a phone. Because without your music, I don't think I would I don't think I could stay, Klaudio. You see that? You see what I'm doing there? Without your music, I don't think I could stay. So I think it would be that choice for me.
Well, thank you for that affection.
As long as I have music access to your music, sorry, Klaudio, I think I'll be okay.
Thank you for your affection, really. Thank you. Because of where I come from, the journey to the art world, and to have people who like my music, who like my work, it's really exciting for me. I feel privileged because of the artist I've been and built in recent years. And being accepted, of course, with support from people who are standing up and making it possible. One of those people who's very important and are people that I will remember for life, has been on this path with me. I met several of them. Some still, some will, and others will continue. One in particular, Marlene Maya, is at this moment for me the biggest representative of Klaudio Hoshai in professional terms. Another one, Kanjonas Kaim, is a friend of mine, a brother. He's been connected with me and never gave up. He was always available for me, regardless of his schedule and time. He was with me, and everyone else who supports me when I have a new project, wanting to share it. This goes to fans, all the social activity that I have that has been playing a role in my career. I really am very grateful for this.
Great, Klaudio. And, we will continue to grow the fans, all the followers on social networks. So Klaudio has the success that he wants. So please, everyone, try to connect with Klaudio and make sure that we spread his wonderful music throughout the world as far as we can. And last question, Klaudio, the question about, having a week without a mobile or without music. Curious, what would it be for you?
Well, today we're all very attached to our phones. But since I have something bigger than my phone, which is my guitar, something more important than the phone, which is my guitar, then there could be even no internet. For me, I would manage, as long as I could take my music, play with my guitar and my voice. I could get on a plane. I could sing in the streets for people. So for me, 1 week without a phone is fine.
Okay. So it's all about your guitar, Klaudio. As long as you have your guitar, you're okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, Klaudio, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us on Kizomba Conversations. It's been a joy to have you here. And for our listeners, it's important to follow Klaudio on social media, just like I said. And I want to say a big thank you to Marlene, who has also been able to make this exclusive interview or conversation with Klaudio happen. So thank you very much, Marlene, in terms of the management of Klaudio and getting him here. We really thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time and for the preference to choose me as an artist. There are many artists that have been doing very beautiful work, and I was chosen to have this interview, this conversation, humble and very educational. So also helping me to understand my value as an artist. I'm grateful for the affection, and a big hug to all of the team at Kizomba Conversations.
Thank you so much, Klaudio. And, like I say, great having you. We look forward to having you hopefully back again to see how things are progressing with your wonderful music and where life is taking you and where music is taking you. So we really hope to have you back another time, Klaudio. Thank you so much. To our listeners, thank you for being with us here today. We really hope you enjoyed the episode here with Klaudio. Let us know what you think of the episode in comments. Let us know, like, subscribe, all those kinds of things. And like I said, be sure if you want to see Claudio's episode live, check out the other episode here on our YouTube channel at Kizomba Conversations, where you can see the episode, obviously be in Portuguese, but you have the English transcripts there. And there you can also see Klaudio sing all the wonderful songs that he mentioned in this episode today. So, like I always say, keep dancing, and we will see you on the next episode of Kizomba Conversations. Peace.